The thoroughbred is a magnificent animal, bred for speed, bred to compete, the sport of kings.
Wow, West Coast has it by 6.
It's the all-new Let's Go Racing from Parks Casino and Racetrack. It's action-packed and fun for the entire family.
3 of them are right together with 1 furlong to go.
Let's Go Racing is brought to you by the Pennsylvania Thoroughbred Horsemen's Association. It's fun to see them run.
A very pleasant good morning, racing fans, and welcome here to Parks Racing for Let's Go Racing for the 3rd straight year. Rains hit Churchill Downs on the first Saturday in May. What's up with that?
Yeah, I know.
On the show today, Dick and I will recap what turned into an historic running of the Kentucky Derby. Also, the Kentucky Oaks on Friday. Jaywalk was trying to recapture her form from last year. We'll see if she could get that done. We'll also take a look at more graded action over the weekend from Churchill Downs and spend some time with Tony Black and get a jockey's perspective on what happened over the weekend. Hi, everybody. Keith Jones down at the beautiful first floor here at Parks Racing. My friend Dick Girardi. And Dick, rains again. Yeah. What's going on with the first Saturday in May?
Yeah, at least it didn't rain all day long like the previous year, but yeah, it started raining like just an hour and a half before the race, right. Hard for an hour. So we had a sloppy, muddy track again. But that wasn't really the story,
no,
was it?
No, it was not. We had a lot of stuff to get to. Dick, during the week, Omaha Beach got scratched. Yes. We had another one, High Call, came out, so we ended up with 19 runners.
Yeah, we ended up with 19. The 21 horse got into the race off the AEs. And
Maiden.
Yeah, it was Maiden. It was interesting. The favorite the whole time was the 7, Maximum Security, until the last click, when out of nowhere, Improbable went to a straight 4-1. Maximum Security was 9-2. There were a bunch of other horses. Tacitus was around 5. People couldn't quite make up their mind who they liked. They ended up going with, shockingly, Derby Bob Baffert was the favorite.
Well, you mentioned Improbable. If you like Omaha Beach, it was hard not to like Improbable. He ran a great second to him down in Arkansas before.
On and off track. And I think that was part of how people were betting at that stage.
And Dick, Maximum Security, there are people that say they cost $16,000 in December. He got away with an easy lead in the Florida Derby, but he also had the only 2 triple-digit buyer races.
He did. It was interesting. My pick was going to be Omaha Beach, as we talked about on the show last week. I immediately switched to Maximum Security because now all of a sudden it looked to me like he was either going to be loose on the lead or maybe have a little company. But without Omaha Beach, the styles were so much in his favor, the style of the race, and he had the triple digits. And I liked how Jason Service was training him. And obviously, I didn't care that he started for maiden 16. He was the Florida Derby winner. That's what he was. He wasn't a maiden 16 horse anymore.
Well, I think we have a lot to talk about.
Yes, we do.
So let's take a look at the race. Here's the call.
They're off in the Kentucky Derby. Maximum Security and Vacoma had good beginnings, and they go out to the early lead, and Long Range Toddy's close too, and there goes Bodie Express on the outside into the early mix. So they will lead the way early on. And then it's War of Will running in 5th on the inside. Spinoff is 6th. Improbable is 7th position in between horses. Then Cutting Humor to the outside, followed by Country House. Then Code of Honor, Tax, and Pluska Parfait. By my standards is alongside, about 10 lengths off the lead. Gray Magician rides the rail into that turn, and then comes Roadster alongside of the Gray Tacitus. Break of another 2 lengths more, back to Win, Win, Win. Game Winner is in behind him. He's second last, leading Japan's Master Fencer to the backstretch. So on to the backstretch they go, and through this first quarter mile in a sensible 46.62 seconds. Maximum Security leads the way by 3/4 of a length. Long Range Toddy pressing the pace under John Court on the outside second. War of Will is down toward the inside under a snug hold in 3rd. Then it's Bodie Express 4th. Improbable behind horses in 5th. Vacoma 6th on the outside. And then it's Code of Honor who rides the rail into the far turn. Country House is alongside, and then Spinoff. Pluska Parfait is next, and on the inside comes Tax. Game Winner is wide on the turn, beginning to pick up his stride near the back of the pack. But Maximum Security continues to lead the way. Midway on the far turn, he's a length and a half in front. War of Will is 2nd. Long Range Toddy 3rd, and 4 wide and moving up is Country House's Bodie Express plummets through the field. And here comes Code of Honor, and he bursts through an opening on the inside of Maximum Security, and they're into the stretch. Country House on the outside. Code of Honor down toward the rail. Maximum Security keeps on fighting. War of Will is there too as they come to the final furlong. It is Country House on the outside. Maximum Security so dead game. He keeps battling on. Maximum Security. Country House 1-2 down to the line. Maximum Security wins the Kentucky Derby.
Well, Dick, as I'm sure all racing fans know by now, Maximum Security crosses the finish line first, but becomes the first horse in Derby history to get disqualified. Country House is the beneficiary at 65 to 1. Had a ticket, you get $132.40 to win. Number 13, Code of Honor, gets moved up and plays second. Number 8, that would be Tacitus, ends up third.
Yeah, there isn't any question Maximum Security was best. I thought it was a brilliant training job by Jason Service. Everybody was saying, why is he working this horse so slow? The gallops are slow. They look like jogs. It's just like, what is going on? And then the morning of the race, he gives him an old school 2 furlong blowout. I said, he's got this perfect. This horse has the speed. He's undefeated. He's got the numbers. He's going right to the front. So he goes to the front under heat the whole way.
Yes.
And at the quarter pole after the incident, it looks like he's going to get swallowed.
Oh, everybody's after
I said, it's over. He gets passed on his inside by a Code of Honor. I said, well, that's it. And he re-breaks, runs the final quarter just over 25 seconds. The best Derby performance I saw in person was Barbara. I put this up there as one of the best performances, just because how the race was run.
Right.
And beautiful training job. You just feel terrible for Jason and all the people, because you don't get a chance at the Derby. How many chances are you going to have a 9-2 shot in there? And he's still never finished behind a horse, but he's not unbeaten anymore.
No, he's not. When Dick, the stewards down at Churchill Downs had this to say about the incident.
We determined that the 7 horse drifted out and impacted the progress of number 1, in turn interfering with the 18 and 21. Those horses were all affected, we thought, by the interference. Therefore, we unanimously determined to disqualify number 7 and place him behind the 18.
Dick, it's hard to say that there wasn't a foul, but there has to be some discretion. There has to be some gray area. I know there's rules, but there has to be common sense.
Yes.
You'd be hard-pressed to tell me that what happened affected the order of finish, and we took the best horse down.
Yeah, no question, Keith. You and I are in complete agreement on this. I think we need to change the American system and the Canadian system, which puts the stewards in a spot where they can take the best horse and put him 17th in this case. I just think it should be the international system. If it doesn't affect the win, if it's not the second horse who is clearly fouled, then there's just no change, because ultimately you want to see the best horse be in the winner's circle. And in this case, it just didn't happen, and it's just really, really unfortunate.
And you know, Dick, Bill Mott has been waiting to win a Kentucky Derby for a long time.
Yes.
You know what?
Not like
I
this.
don't think he wanted to win it like this. Here's more.
It's bittersweet. I'd be lying if I said it was any different. I mean, I'd like, you know, you always want to win with a clean trip and have everybody recognize the horse as the very good horse and the great athlete that he is. I think due to the disqualification, probably some of that is diminished. But, you know, this is horse racing. There were 2 horses in the race that lost all chance to win a Kentucky Derby.
Let's get back to the disqualification.
Yeah.
First of all, when the incident happened, the stewards never let the inquiry start, which I thought was significant.
Yes.
And the jockey that seemed to be affected first in the domino effort was War of Will.
Yep.
Tyler Gaffalio did nothing.
He didn't, and I think that's kind of a jockey's code. When it's not going to really help you win the race or get into a placing somewhere, jockeys they normally just don't claim foul. What's the point? Because it could be you on the other end of it at some point.
Right.
That's why it was so surprising to see John Court on the horse that finished 17th, who was backing out at the time, claim foul. And by the way, War of Will had every chance to get by and couldn't do it. But when Flavian Pratt claims foul, basically because Bill Mott's other jockey, Jose Ortiz on Tacitus, was right behind the incident, said, you better claim foul. We all get that, because if it turns out an overturn, you're going to end up winning the Kentucky Derby, even though the second horse was not involved in the incident. That's what's so disappointing about the whole result. I thought Bob Baffert's take on it was great. He said, look, I've had so many horses eliminated in the Derby because of the big field, stuff happens. You don't claim foul. It's no objections. First horse to the wire wins, and he's had it both ways. And now it's being appealed. Possibly we're going to court. Gary and Mary West are talking about it. There is no appeal in Kentucky of stewards' decisions, which I'm fine with that. There's no racing commission appeal, but it sounds like they might be in federal court. The last time there was a big appeal was that 80 Codex Genuine Risk thing, and that ended up being appealed. The racing commission, they didn't win. And all the way back to '68 when Dancer's Image was DQ'd 4 days later because of a Butte overage, now a legal drug. That went on for 4 years. Hopefully this is settled before 4 years.
Well, Dick, we're going to have a chance to talk to Tony Black and get a jockey's perspective on what happened to be. Very interested to see what Tony, and we'll have him on with us. We come back after this.
Racehorses are pampered.
Treated with care and loved.
Nothing is more important than their health and their safety.
We do right by them.
And they do right by us.
The hard-working folks
Who proudly earn our living.
in Pennsylvania's horse racing.
and breeding industries.
Horse racing is a lot of fun.
But it's so much more.
It provides tens of thousands of jobs
Jobs and billions in economic impact each year.
all across the Commonwealth.
Horse racing in Pennsylvania. It's a winner.
Looking to join the thrill and excitement of thoroughbred racehorse ownership? Pewter Stable can get you started. With more than 25 years of experience under the leadership of Greg and Kate DeMasi, Pewter Stable is one of the industry's leaders in racing partnerships, winning hundreds of races and millions of dollars at racetracks all over the Mid-Atlantic, including New York. Pewter Stables is working hard, looking for the very best runners at all the top sales, and we do claiming partnerships as well. No markup, no management fees, makes our partnerships unique and affordable. Training services also provided for individual owners. Give us a call and see what Pewter Stable is all about. The thrill and fun of thoroughbred racehorse ownership is easier than you think. We are Pewter Stable.
Amazing achievements for Pennsylvania breds on the world stage. Thanks to Finest City, Unique Bella, and Shamrock Rose, PA joins Kentucky as the only state in the past decade to breed Eclipse Award champions 3 straight years. Add that to our unmatched incentives. Plus, our Racehorse Development Fund can only be used to support PA breeding and racing. Why breed anywhere else? This is Brian Sanfratello. Go to pabred.com and see why Pennsylvania is the premier place to breed and race.
Welcome back, everyone, to Parks Racing for Let's Go Racing. Time to welcome in our special guest, and it's none other than Hall of Fame jockey here, Tony Black. And Tony, all the controversy surrounding what happened at Churchill Downs on Saturday afternoon. You've been a jockey. You've been on both ends of what happened. Tell us your perspective on the DQ.
Well, the DQ is a tough decision. The stewards were put in a very tough position. I thought, personally, the horse should have stayed up. He was the best horse. And of course you can say, well, there was an infraction, he bothered some horses. But to go take that rule further, there also is an allowance that the stewards can use their discretion, and if they feel it was the best horse and the infraction did not cause any horse a more forward position in the money, they can leave the horse up. But they choose to go strictly by the black and white rule. There's an infraction, you're coming down. We can justify it by the rules that the commission sets out and puts forward before us.
Tony, for those people that say it's the Kentucky Derby, it's the same as the 5th race on Wednesday afternoon, what do you say to that?
Well, you know, it's the Kentucky Derby. You only get one chance in a 3-year-old year to win it as a jockey. You're going to ride very aggressively, hopefully not cross the line and make anything happen that could be dangerous or impede a horse and cause some injury to a jock or a horse. When it comes to 20 horses, I've heard people say it shouldn't be 20 horses. I rode in a 4-horse field, the Black Eyed Susan, one year at Pimlico, and every one of us, it was Danny Gargan, Bill Passmore, myself, I can't remember the other jock, we bothered each other at some point of the race. So you can bother each other at in a 4-horse field or a 20-horse field. Do you know one year there was a 23-horse field? And that was the year Little Current didn't get anything, but he wound up winning the Preakness and the Belmont after that. I'm not sure what year it was.
1974.
74.
Yeah, that was the 100th anniversary. That it was like they'd let as many horses in as wanted to run.
And
they changed the rule after that to 20.
It was 23 horses.
Because it was so chaotic. Look, I thought what Tony said at the beginning was spot on. It comes down to, is it a rule or is it justice? What are you trying to get? What was justice here? Justice would have been Maximum Security winning the Kentucky Derby. This was not justice when you end up with the second best horse by a ton, Country House being the Derby winner. And if you're saying, like Tony said, if the horse that eventually finished 8th, War of Will, didn't have a legitimate chance after the foul, then you go, well, something was wrong. But he did. He had 300 yards to pass the winner, and he couldn't do it. So therefore, I think the steward should have used more discretion. I know they're put in a difficult spot. Everybody knows how I feel about objections and DQs. I think the fact for years it's been so difficult to determine what's a foul, what isn't. I just say first horse to the wire wins, and if you want to suspend jockeys later, fine. That's never going to happen. How about we just adopt the international rule? I think that's the best way to do this. If it doesn't involve the first two finishers and it's not going to change the result, then forget about it. Because we end up putting a winning horse, the best horse, 17th in the Derby. Where is the justice in that?
Tony, does that make sense?
It makes perfect sense. And you know what I feel bad about? The public. The betting public did not receive the payoff that they should have received. You know, the horse was backed by the public, strongly backed by the public, and I just feel like at times this business, I used to say, shoots itself in the foot. Well, I think Saturday they shot themselves in the head, because it puts a sour taste in the betting public's mind, because they did bet on the best horse, and I felt the best horse should have been left up.
Yeah, that's beautifully said, too. I've always said the two biggest stakeholders in the sport are the owners. There's no game without the owners, and there's no game without the bettors.
Right.
Both of them were, I mean, look, Gary and Mary West had the best horse. Maybe he'll never get a chance to win the Derby again. Probably not. Now that's over, and all the people that bet their money on Maximum Security at 9-2, they're all tearing up tickets and wondering why.
Well, Tony, thank you for offering some perspective for us from a jockey's view, and as always, wish you the very best.
It's always a pleasure being here, and you know what? We just have to keep promoting the sport of racing. It's a great game. It's a beautiful sport. Beautiful athletes, horses, and the jockeys, too.
Well, let's get to more racing coverage now from Churchill Downs. It's brought to you, of course, by Chapman Auto Group, unless our emblem is on the back of your car or truck. You probably paid too much. And Dick, of course, the Kentucky Oaks the day before the Derby weekend. It's 9 furlongs for the 3-year-old fillies, $1.25 million. 14 3-year-old fillies go to the gate. And Dick, Bellafina, the public loves Bellafina. She's the favorite here at 9-5, a pretty short price at a very competitive field. Simon Callahan, Dick, 6 of 8 lifetime. But most of those wins have been against short fields in California.
Yeah, I thought she was kind of a fraud. I played the race just to try to beat Bellafina. Yeah. I didn't have a great feel for the race, but I said I got to get involved, and I bet a lot of Oaks Derby doubles, right, all to Maximum Security. Right. Well, it turned out it didn't matter. I didn't have it right anyway.
Dick, second choice number 14, Restless Rider. Tough post here, 14. Yep. You get 4-1 with Kenny McPeak. And Dick, she has never been worse than second in 7 career starts, and Kenny has said all along he has pointed to this day.
He has, and I talked to some people down there that were not thrilled with how she was coming into the race prior to the race. I tossed her too.
Okay.
Still couldn't get there.
Dick, and here's Jaywalk. She gets bet down to 6-1, looking to reclaim some of that glory from last year.
Yeah, John had texted me early in the week, said she's as good as I can get her, and I said, well, you know what? If that's the case, she's good enough to win.
Let's get the call of the Kentucky Oaks.
As they continue up the backstretch, the opening quarter mile was 23.25 seconds, and Serengeti Empress finds herself loose on the lead after a sharp half mile in 46.65. The leader by 2.5 lengths up the backstretch. Motion Emotion is running along in second. Ladyapolis third to the inside. Then Leora between horses. Jaywalk is there to the outside, then out for a spin. Bellafina is now 6.5 lengths off the lead. She's in behind horses as they make their way around the far turn. Serengeti Empress is still the leader. She's gone 3/4 in 111.26, and she's got a 2-length lead on the far turn. Motion Emotion is second, Ladyapolis third. Leora, a long shot, is moving up on the outside of horses. Jaywalk is next. Flavien Prat asking a lot from Bellafina now. She is starting to pick up her stride, but she's got work to do. And here comes Leora. Leora and Channing Hill on the outside of Serengeti Empress, who digs in toward the rail. It's these two, Ladyapolis third, the others with plenty of work to do. It's down to these two and Serengeti Empress, who's holding off the challenge of Leora as they come down to the line. Serengeti Empress has taken the Kentucky Oaks.
Well, the Serengeti Empress, who last time we saw her, she bled and ended up back down to there. Yep. She got fully looked at by the vet. She got the go-ahead 13-1 for Tom Amos. Gets to the front, never looks back, wins a length and 3/4 at 13-1, $28 to win. 38-1 shot Leora second. Lady Apple at 10-1 finishes third. Dick, Bellafina off the board. Serengeti Empress, she loves Churchill Downs.
Yeah, and when she gets to the lead, she is a killer. Anytime she's cleared the field, she's won. When she hasn't, she gets beaten, and beaten badly, by 50, by 17 in the Breeders' Cup last year. It was interesting. The 1-2 out of the Rachel Alexandra at the fairgrounds, which has been that's been the stopping point for the winners of the Kentucky Oaks. They ran 1-2 again, and I had none of them in the doubles, so I didn't get DQ'd out of anything in that way. And look, Jaywalk just isn't the same filly she was as a 2-year-old. They gave her a chance. I thought Javier put her in a good spot. Just wasn't good enough, and I mean, we've seen it before. And Bellafina was just a dud. Well, never in the race.
Dick Jaywalk ends up finishing 6th, but she get disqualified too.
Yeah, how about a tough weekend for the Service brothers, all right? So Jaywalk finishes 6th, DQ'd to 14th, which is bad enough, but 6 is not, 14th doesn't really matter. And then, of course, Jason finishes 1st in the Derby and gets DQ'd to 17th. So, I mean, what do they have against the West Virginia breds, the Service brothers? I don't get it.
Dick, Tom Dandor. Next week, we come back here on Let's Go Racing. We have our weekly jockey and trainer of the week, and also some more action. How about this Matoli? Whoa, he's fast. We'll be back with that after this.
Bobby's Wicked One cuts the corner, and Whitmore comes up on the outside.
He's a winner. He's a champion. He's an icon. He's a legend. And now he's back in Pennsylvania. Smarty Jones, Kentucky Derby winner, Preakness Stakes winner, standing at Equistar in Annville, Pennsylvania. The quintessential Pennsylvania bred has returned. Smarty Jones is back home. Please call Rodney Eckenrode or visit EquistarTrainingAndBreeding.com.
The Pennsylvania Thoroughbred Horsemen's Association is the advocate for Parks Racing's horsemen and has worked hard to secure better lives for the hundreds of trainers and their families that work in the thoroughbred racing industry. Our horsemen benefit from medical coverage, trainer pension plans, and increased purses. Thanks to these horsemen, racing at Parks is the very best, providing entertainment for you and the entire family. The Pennsylvania Horsemen are proud to be part of the community and introduce a new generation of fans to the sport of kings.
Welcome back, everyone, to Parks Racing for Let's Go Racing. Jockey and Trainer of the Week brought to you by the Turning for Home program. Log on to their website at turningforhome.org. Dick, our Jockey of the Week, a young apprentice that's making some noise here, Gerardo Milan. Keep an eye on him. He's doing a great job. And Dick, can I make Jason Service our Trainer of the Week?
Absolutely, and I hope that we see maximum security here for the Pennsylvania Derby later in the year.
Jason Service, our Trainer of the Week.
Absolutely.
Let's get to race recap. Back to Churchill Downs, Dick. The Grade 1 Churchill Downs 7 furlongs. Number 8, Matoli is the 2-1 favorite for trainer Steve Asmussen. And how good has this horse got?
Yeah, I think he's the best sprinter in the country right now. Look, Roy H. isn't running at the moment, but man, Matoli just powers away. Did sit a good trip behind the 2 speed horses, but it doesn't matter. This horse is now 7 for 10 lifetime, Grade 1, 106 buyer, big time sprint.
How good Steve Asmussen? 3 Grade 1s over the weekend. 640 on Matoli. The big turf race, the Turf Classic. Dick, number 12, Bricks and Mortar is even money for trainer Chad Brown. And Dick, is Bricks and Mortar the best turf horse in the country?
Yeah, I don't think there's any question about that. This horse is going to close as he always does, and he's always a short price, and he always wins. He's now 8 for 10 lifetime. Brown, Irad Ortiz, winner's circle again.
$4.20 to win, and finally it's the Pat Day Mile. 3-year-olds going that one-turn mile, and Dick, Instagram, the even money favorite. But how good is Mr. Money today?
Yeah, Mr. Money was really good. Instagram was horrible as the favorite. He's just been kind of a hype horse that never lived up to it. Mr. Money runs away from the field to win by 5. Wins by so much that Fred Calhoun says, we will see you in the Preakness.
Absolutely. Dick, eye on racing. How about Belmont Park, the Peter Pan?
How about the Peter Pan? There's some of the 3-year-olds, they have to make a decision. Is it Preakness? Is it Peter Pan? But now that maximum security is not going in the Preakness, we're going to get to all that in a minute, you would think the Preakness is going to get some other horses from outside the Derby.
Well, Dick, Grade 1 Man of War as well. We'll have that for you next week here on the show. Be right back. News and notes after this.
What does Chapman's 7 locations and 10 car brands mean to you? It means a huge selection of quality pre-owned vehicles, all makes and models, many one-owner, low-mileage certified with miles of factory warranty remaining. Safety checked, meticulously detailed, and each come with a free Carfax report so you can buy with complete confidence at any Chapman Auto store near you. Or shop online anytime at ChapmanPreowned.com.
If our emblem is not on your car or truck, you probably did pay too much.
He's a winner. He's a champion. He's an icon. He's a legend. And now he's back in Pennsylvania. Smarty Jones, Kentucky Derby winner, Preakness Stakes winner, standing at Equistar in Annville, Pennsylvania. The quintessential Pennsylvania bred has returned. Smarty Jones is back home. Please call Rodney Eckenrode or visit EquistarTrainingAndBreeding.com.
The Pennsylvania Thoroughbred Horsemen's Association is the advocate for Parks Racing's horsemen and has worked hard to secure better lives for the hundreds of trainers and their families that work in the thoroughbred racing industry. Our horsemen benefit from medical coverage, trainer pension plans, and increased purses. Thanks to these horsemen, racing at Parks is the very best, providing entertainment for you and the entire family. The Pennsylvania Horsemen are proud to be part of the community and introduce a new generation of fans to the sport of kings.
Welcome back, everyone, to Parks Racing for Let's Go Racing. Final segment news and notes brought to you by Pewter Stable. Log on to their website at pewterstable.com. Become an owner today. Bruce Casella, Dick Girardi, Keith Jones, and Dick, of course, next Saturday is the Preakness. What are we looking at right now?
I think Improbable with Baffert and now Mike Smith will ride. I think he'll be the favorite. Be about 9 or 10. Not very many horses back from the Derby, but it is the Preakness, and it is Baltimore, and there will be crabs and crab cakes in my future.
Dick, as we leave the folks on the show today, we want to thank our friends at Churchill Downs for this beautiful piece. It's about the beauty of Churchill Downs on Derby Day.
In the history of the Kentucky Derby, the horse that crossed the line first has been disqualified.